Alrighty guys, welcome back to your 6th video, and in this video what we're going to be doing is actually building some cool functions. The first function that we're going to make is the function that the user uses to delete all of their messages. So whenever they press the delete button, it's pretty much going to clear the entire chat log and delete all of the messages in the database. So you know how you don't want to store all the messages from your chat room forever, or else your database is gonna be huge and it's gonna eat all the memory on your server. So we gave the user the ability to pretty much clear the chat room. So this is how you do that. Now truncates, and whenever you're working with MySQL, whenever you truncate a table, it pretty much means empties the table or delete every single row. So this function is going to do is it's going to go in your database and delete every single message or every single row. And what the user is going to see is pretty much their chat room or their log is going to be emptied, or their history is going to be cleared, however you want to say it. So it empties the table containing all messages. So let's go ahead and build this public function, and I'll just go ahead and call all this delete all messages. And it doesn't take any parameters because we don't need to give it any additional information. Now the query for this, and let's go ahead and build the query first, is just truncate table, and the table name was chat. So whenever we run this query, it's going to delete every single row in the table chat. So that's what truncate means, delete every single row. Now we actually need to run this query. It's supposed to be a variable. So the result, so what we did right here is we basically just built the query. And this isn't the same as running the query. If we just ran our code right now, nothing would happen. In order to run this query or execute it, this is how you do that. This, you have to use your object that you created, and this is pretty much saying, okay, we're using this object, which is basically a connection to the database that we created. So this MySQLi query, and now this takes a parameter of which query do you want to execute. So this is actually a function, and as a parameter, you pass it the variable of the query, or basically the query that you want to execute. So this builds the query that says basically delete every single row in the database, or excuse me, in the table, and this executes the query. So eventually we're going to link this function to the button that says delete messages, and whenever the user clicks it, it's going to call this function and delete all of the messages in the chat room. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and build another function. So a next logical function that we can build is how to make the user post a new message to the chat room, because right now all the user can do is delete messages. Not a very cool chat room. So you want to give them the ability to post a new message so they can actually communicate with each other. I think that would be very useful. So public function post new message. So whenever this function is called, they're going to post a new message, or in other words, insert a message into the database. Now for this we actually do need some pieces of information. The first thing is which user is posting the message. So we'll go ahead and pass that in, the username. The next thing is what is the message, or what are they typing, and we'll store that in message. And the last thing we're going to store is color, which is basically the color of their text. Now what we need to do now is we need to set all of these variables, and we kind of need to clean them up. So let me go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about. So the username is going to be equal to this MySQLi real escape string username. And what this does right here is real escape string is basically the MySQL improved way that you fix MySQL injection. And this, if you guys don't know about MySQL injection or about like PHP security or MySQL security, there is a way that the user can actually hack your database by typing a message into any input box. And what I just want to talk to you guys about this for 20 seconds. What they can do is they can actually type in a bit of SQL code and it'll execute whenever it goes to your database. But this is how you prevent against that. Um, if you guys don't know about that, just remember real escape string means don't let the user hack my database. Boom, very simple. So what we need to do is we actually need to do this not only for the username, but their message as well.